Good morning, afternoon, evening. It's evening. It's Sunday evening. We're gonna do a little Sunday reset to wrap up my birthday weekend. Yeah, okay, so this has been a awesome weekend. It was an awesome birthday. It's my 36th birthday. We had a blast. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. Right now, I need to wash this. Even though it's not a particularly oily feeling, it's just a bit of a mess, and I need a nice Sunday restart with the hair, I think, because it just feels good to start the week out with clean hair. And I think we're on, I don't know, this is probably my 5th day with this hair. And yeah, it needs washing. Half the curl is like, it's going wild. I've got my Swamp Witch hair going full effect. So what I'm gonna do is put some pre-poo oil in and do the whole thing. We're gonna do a clarifying wash and a hair mask, just the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna tint my brows just to really self-care it up. All right, it is Sunday reset. Then we're gonna do some planning for the week and decide what needs to get done. I'm gonna try to very gently detangle my hair. It's not been brushed in 2 days. It's been in this. I got a little pack of these like Invisibobble knockoffs. I don't even know what brand these are. I think they're just Walmart brand. They were on an end cap. Let me see, where's my little pack? Glam and Beauty. I think that's just like one of those random like Walmart brands that they stick on end caps of just random stuff. So yeah, I grabbed a pack of these because like, ooh, I finally figured out how to use them without ripping my hair out. And I actually really like them because they don't put a weird little kink in my hair, and they stay in better than my silk scrunchies do. Those tend to just slip right out on me throughout the night, or it's halfway out of my head. I've had better luck using these little guys, and yeah, they're great. And they were super cheap. They were like, I think it was maybe at the most $5 for the whole pack, and there's 8 in the pack. And I like the colors. They're pretty colors. They had other colorways. But yeah, they're just on like random end caps at like neighborhood Walmart market thing. I always find like the best little things on just the random little things hanging on the aisle. You know, it's just a strip with some stuff. Like they'll have the Turby twist. That's where I got onto my Turby twist from. I love those so much. And they were just hanging on an end cap. The scalp scrubber I just got. One of those little things just hanging on an end cap. And it has been the best thing ever. I am in love with the scalp scrubber. I got my husband onto the scalp scrubber. He's loving it. So anyway, gonna gently try to detangle this madness. But my hair does look really nice otherwise. So I guess I can tell you about my birthday weekend, how nice it was. I filmed a video doing my makeup that day. I did like a really pretty glam look using a lot of my favorite products. Like I used my Pat McGrath palette, Bronze Seduction, like just really like did all the things I love, and like did a full beat. Cream contour, all of it, lashes, just went all out. So I did that, and while I was doing that, my friend's daughter texted me. Well, I mean, she's my friend too, obviously, but she's like, hey, Mom has a present for you. Come by the house if you can today. And I was like, well, we're going to be going to eat dinner, so yeah, I'll stop by beforehand. So went over there. It's my friend Carolyn, who I've built a website for. She does portraits. I'll link her in the description box. She does pet portraits and human portraits. She's a fantastic painter. And I was like, oh, she probably painted a picture of Pumpkin for me or something. Nah, dude. She painted me. A portrait of me. I will put the portrait here and the reference photo. I cried. I cried. I did not know how to even react to something like that. And it's so beautiful. And it's like she nailed my curls, my lips, like even my eyeshadow, my green eyeshadow, everything. And the palette I was using in that original picture was the e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno palette, by the way. And yeah, she got the greens just dead on. I was so tickled, and she framed it and has it ready to be hung and has like a beautiful dedication on the back. I just, that has been one of the most thoughtful presents I've ever received. So I went by there, hung out with her for a little while until it was time to go to dinner. We went to one of my favorite, like, nicer, higher end restaurants. It's a local one called Spirits, and this one of those places that there's not a bad thing on the menu, you know? You kind of can't go wrong with anything. And I'm not a grilled chicken person, but their grilled chicken is, like, amazing. So I got the thing called Tracy's Chicken, which is a grilled chicken breast with some special cream sauce, marinade business. If I can find the description, I'll put it on the screen from the website. But it has, like, spinach, cherry tomatoes cut up, or sun roasted tomatoes, some kind of tomatoes cut up on top, and cheese, and oh, so good, with the sweet potato mash that has bacon jelly on top. Yeah, bacon jelly, which actually isn't my favorite part. I usually just eat around that. I don't know, I'm not a huge bacon person. So anyway, wow, I can't believe how easily my hair brushed out. It's like, do I really even need to wash it? Like, yeah, I want to film tomorrow, so I want good hair. I don't want to have to, because I know this is going to turn into a frizz ball now that I've washed it, or brushed it. Anyway, so I had that, and then my friend mentioned it was my birthday, so they let me choose a dessert, and I had blueberry bread pudding. So good. Bread pudding is one of my favorite desserts ever. Like, I will try every restaurant's bread pudding, and I definitely have favorites. Bread pudding is like one of those staple Louisiana desserts. On any good local restaurant has bread pudding on their menu. And that bananas foster, I think, is another, like, classic Louisiana thing. And of course king cake, but king cake's seasonal. And I don't like bananas foster, I don't like bananas. So that was so good, and I shared it with the whole table because it's so much food. If we had 5-star restaurants, like, scaled ours in where I live, this would probably be one of them. Like, they've been open as long as I can remember, and they've always been, like, top tier place to eat. And it's not that expensive either to eat there. Like, depends what you order, of course. Like, but they got, like, burgers and stuff. I think, you know, everything's about $12 beginning, and probably the most expensive thing on the menu is about $30. You know, it's not like crazy expensive or anything. It's not like we have this other restaurant called, like, Diamond Grill, where everything there's like $50. You know, it's nothing like that. And I've just never even cared to try that place because I'm like, you can't be that good. But anyway, we had really awesome dinner, and there was gonna be like a 50-minute wait for a table, and they were like, but we do have, you know, the back patio with heaters, because it was kind of cold that day. And we ended up going sitting back there with the heaters, and we were the only people out there. So we had the whole huge patio to ourselves, and the heaters worked amazing. Like, we took our jackets off. That's how warm it felt. But they had, like, heaters on the roof, and it was so warm and lovely, but you still had, like, the cold breeze coming through, and your food didn't get cold. It was great. And after that, we were like, let's go. We have been talking about getting tattoos for the last couple of days, because there was a place doing a discount for Friday the 13th, which my birthday was on Friday the 13th, that it was going to be 1.5-inch size tattoos for $13 and a $7 tip. So we're like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to go over there and get tattoos. And my sister was over there. She went first. She went like 3 p.m. to go get hers, and there was 12 people ahead of her, and like huge wait time. So she left and like came back later on that evening, and I think she got there like 6:45, and it was probably midnight before she got home. So me and Lila just said, fuck that, we'll just go pay regular price somewhere and get a tattoo. And because we're like, all the other tattoo places are going to be empty tonight because everybody's over at that one. And yeah, we walked right in and got tattoos. We were both done. I think we were waiting at the tattoo shop 45 minutes because we both got the small tattoos that we'd already picked. But anyways, my sister got bows on the back of her ankles. They were really cute. Lila got a little crescent moon with a flower on her hip. And I got, if I can get in frame, make sure that I am in frame to show you. I got a little bumblebee with the leaves around it, and the detail is so beautiful. I'll put a picture in where you can see it better. This guy had the most skilled, like, detail-oriented hand. Like, he got, like, even, like, the little, looks like little hairs on the bee. And just to be such a small tattoo, to have that much detail in it, and virtually painless. Like, all I felt was like a slight sting. It didn't even hurt. He had such a light hand. Like, he was very, very delicate and gentle, especially because of the location. He's like, you know, your skin's thinner here, you got veins. He's like, you can't just, he's like, you have to be very gentle. And he had actually been tattooing like over 20 years. And he's like, he was so, just very, just professional and gentle with it. Wasn't even thinking about what he was doing. We were sitting there having a conversation the whole time. And he was so fast too. He was very quick. And just a really good experience. He was very kind. We had fun time just talking and joking the whole time. Little teeny tiny shop I didn't even know existed. I was very impressed with his work. And the tattoo gun he used was this itty bitty. It looked like a 3D pen, like those pens you used to like do 3D drawing, or like, you remember those pens where you push down all the different ink colors around them? It was that size. It was the smallest tattoo gun I've ever seen, and it was battery operated and so quiet. And he used that one because it does very fine detail work because it's very small, and like I can even hear the thing hardly. Just the most quiet tattoo gun ever. And he's like, yeah, just charge it up on the battery. I was like, that's crazy. That's so cool. I used to have ones that have like pre-filled like ink capsules you can put in. I'm like, wow, tattoo technology has come a long way. And it's not like I'm not somebody who doesn't have tattoos or something. I just didn't know that existed, because I mean, I've got almost the whole arm here. But most places I've gone, they just use old school tattoo guns. I didn't know these little mini guys existed, and it was crazy. And look, I mean, it's not even red today. It barely got red after he did it. It was so, I don't know, because he was just so gentle. When I got this one up here, it looked like I got hit in the arm with a baseball bat the next day. I was so bruised. The redness was gone within like 30 minutes. You know, they put the saran wrap on. He's like, you can take that off. He said about wherever the redness goes down, and put some petroleum-free, like Aquaphor or something like that on it. And I've been putting this Skin Fix eczema dermatitis face balm on it, because it's very gentle and it's just a balm that is petroleum-free. And it does a great job. It's pretty much like an Aquaphor type product. Yeah, very, very gentle product. I like it. I used to use this like on my jawline when I used to get really bad eczema on my jawline and like dermatitis. And since I got on thyroid medicine, I don't get that anymore. And yeah, this has been great for tattoos, keeping it nice and happy. So yeah, and I mean, it's already starting to get just a little bit of a almost scabby feeling, but barely. It's a little, you know, tender to touch, but not really. Like, I can touch it and not feel anything. It was a little bothersome last night because it's on my wrist, and where I rest my hand to do my mouse, it was kind of touching it, so I just put on a sweater and put a little cushion in between there, and it was fine. But yeah, that was really fun. Something about getting a tattoo, you just get all giddy, and it's just like, yeah! And we tried to get everyone else to get one that was with us, because we ended up packing the whole shop full of people, because it was just a big group of us, and they all just came over while we were getting the tattoos just to hang out. Yeah, me and Lyra were the only ones that did it out of the group. I'm like, come on, guys. They were only going to get it if they could get that deal, I think. But anyway. Then we went to the chalet to do karaoke. It's a little bar, because my husband loves doing karaoke. So we're like, yeah, let's go over there and just hang out and he can sing. By the way, my husband took off 5 days for my birthday to stay home and hang out with me. And we had some other friends' birthdays too, so it worked out really well. And he sang the Duran Duran song that I love, Come Undone. And it was funny. He's like, I thought it'd be a perfect song because it says happy birthday to you in the song. And something about a tattoo in there. He was like, it was like the perfect song to sing. So he sang that, and he sang Glenn Campbell's Wichita Lineman. He's been on a kick about that song, like wanting to learn the lyrics. He doesn't work on power lines. He's not a lineman. He works in the energy sector, but not doing that. And so that was funny though. He had such a kick about that song. And so he sang it, and I recorded it so he could hear it back. And he also, after followed that with Tool, I think he sang Eulogy for the first time. And he's like, oh, that was a hard song. He'd never done, I know he's done a Tool song before, and he's done like a lot of Perfect Circle, but that one, that's the first time he's done that. And we were just like, damn, because he like carried the notes with Maynard and everything. It's like, I forget the lung capacity that he has and like the skill. We were joking like he's gonna have an asthma attack when he gets off stage because he also has asthma. My goodness, it's like you almost forget how well somebody sings until you hear him sing. But my husband should have been in a band. He's got like that front man energy, everything. He missed his calling being in a metal band. I could have seen him in like one of those like operatic metal bands almost. Was it Stradivarius or like Opeth? I could see him being like an Opeth, singing that kind of music. Because he can growl too. He just doesn't do it as much. He likes singing. And he can sing opera. He's untrained. Just did like choir at church, but he can do opera. I was like, God, imagine if you like took classes. You would be unstoppable. Okay, so hair's brushed out. Tangle free. That was way easier than I expected. So I'm going to stick some castor oil in it just to give it a little love. Had to find my castor oil. This is the one I've been using. This thing has lasted me forever. But yeah, it's great for hair. I swear by castor oil. I know not everybody thinks it does a whole lot, but it's not even just like the whole hair regrowth thing of it. It's not only it regrows hair, but it just helps the hair you do have stay in good condition. So I've always been an advocate for it. Like, it's just a very good conditioning, loving product. And it's great to do like a pre-hair wash mask with it. It's a very thick oil. It's not one you want to use like to scrunch out the crunch or anything. I'm just gonna let this hang out in my hair while I tint my brows and prep for my nice hot bath, because that is definitely what we'll be doing. And yeah, then we're gonna do a little work. I know it's Sunday. You're like, Sunday you're gonna work? I'm like, yeah. My work week actually starts on a Sunday in a way. Like, I do my Sunday reset and self-care stuff every Sunday, but majority of the time in the evening I do some work to have stuff ready for Monday. And I tend to take my like weekend starts Friday rather than Saturday. So I kind of do that half-ass Friday work on Sundays. But yeah, it was such a nice birthday. It really was. And I wasn't planning on actually doing anything because my husband was going to have to work. I think I told you that in the last vlog. I was like, I think he's just going to take me to lunch. And then yeah, it was really cool. So I was like, oh, well, I'll ask, Lila to come eat with us. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll ask some more people. Why not? And it was such a fun night. And then one of our friends came back here afterwards, and we just hung out while my husband played. They're both playing Elden Ring and into that. So they played, well, my husband played that, and like they just like talked about tips and tricks, and you know how it is with Elden Ring. If you've got somebody in your life who plays Elden Ring, or you play Elden Ring, you know how that is. That game is ridiculous. It's your typical, just like any of the other Dark Soul games. Ridiculous. hard, and not my kind of game at all. If a game is like that kind of hard, just for being hard, I just get pissed off. Dude, I got mad at Oblivion because I got turned into a vampire and couldn't figure out how to unturn myself and kept dying. Then I rage quit it. So, I don't have patience with video games. Sometimes I barely have patience with Sims. And it's not that I dislike playing video games. It's just I don't have patience. I get mad at them. And I've been like that since I was a little kid because I've always been a little bit of a gamer. But I rage quit very quickly. You know, I had a few of the systems growing up. Me and my brother always played together. Does anyone remember Fester's Quest? That was the first game that made me rage quit. On the original Nintendo, I believe, is what it was on. I think that was before I had my Sega. Yeah, it was well before I had a Sega. But I loved Addams Family so much when I was little. And that game came out, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rent that. And I couldn't even get past like the first little thing. And I remember being so mad, I punched the TV. I was 4. And was not terrible at video games at that age. Like, I mean, I could play them. I could get pretty far in them before I get rage quit, like in Mario or something. And even my brother was just like, fuck this game. Like, yeah. And then talking to people now that like grown up about that game, they're like, that game was the hardest game ever. Like, why was it so hard? Why? What was the point of that? And I think then I like got a Sega after that, and I just rented Mortal Kombat 2 over and over and over. That was my favorite game. My mom refused to buy it for me for some reason, but she'd rent it for me like every week. Maybe it's because it was it was never on sale. That's why she'd never buy it for me. Because I was only allowed to get video games when they had like the sale at Kmart, where they were like, you know, $20 or something. I don't remember. It wasn't like the violence or anything she cared about. It was more just the price. I'm like, I think we're spending more on renting this every week or whatever at Blockbuster. But anyway, my husband's there. They discussed Elden Ring. And yeah, probably didn't get in bed until like 4 a.m. Not because I was like, drinking and being wild, woo, birthday. No, just stayed up hanging out with my husband talking. Me and him will stay up for hours just chatting a lot of nights. Like while he's playing Elden Ring. The other night, I think me and him just laid in bed and talked about like a fantasy like daydream thing that I think would be a great comic book or movie that he has been brainstorming forever, and like we keep just building on it. And yeah, we sat there and just talked about that, like character ideas for hours. If I was patient enough, I would sit down and sketch it out for him. But I'm not patient enough for that, and he's not patient enough to sit down and write it. I haven't sat down and like drew in years. I used to do portraits a lot too, and was kind of getting into like illustrating in my own style and stuff, and was wanting to like have my own little graphic novel at one point because I was really into like Sandman and stuff like that, and just I don't know, it's one of those things you just lose sight of. And just like painting, I loved oil painting. I would really like to get back into that, but it's like when do I have time? I feel like I barely have time to do what I do now, but I'm doing stuff I enjoy now, so that's all that matters. There's no reason being like, oh, I wish I was doing this too. Like, no, am I happy doing what I'm doing? Yeah. So what's the problem? I've found a really 2 fun creative outlets that I truly love, which is makeup and decorating houses in Sims 4, which I can't wait to do in Sims 5. Okay, get this all in the hair. Now I got that cool red carpet wet hair look. Alright, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I feel like castor oil is fairly easy to wash off also. Like it breaks down easily enough with soap. Where did I put my, here we go. I do need to put my hair out the way for this. Just gonna look a little goofy for a minute. Fine by me. What are you doing, Pumpkin? Pumpkin is currently snuggled up on a pillow with my sweater on top of it. Just happy as a little lamb. This turkey, yes you, we went to Taco Bell earlier for lunch because I forgot to cook and prep food today. So anyways, we were like, well, let's just grab some Taco Bell because I've been actually craving chalupas with black beans for like 3 days. That's my favorite thing to get at Taco Bell. Anyways, we decided, let's just eat in the car with Pumpkin. We have like 2 parking lots we park in to have car picnics. We started doing this during COVID when nothing was open, but we just didn't want to go back home and eat. So we would eat in the car and just have, a nice time that way. So we have our car picnics, and we usually park at the Walgreens parking lot facing the road, and it's just nice for some reason watching cars and stuff. But anyways, we started parking in another parking lot too. It's not quite as pretty, but it's just not busy. We bring Pumpkin along because she's usually really good in the car. Like when we're eating in the car or whatever. And mixing up my Just for Men and Anna hair color or brow tint, put a little bit of developer in. So I was eating my chalupa and a little turkey, she's sitting in my lap just hanging out. And my husband handed me like the bag or something for trash. And this little hamburger, while we were slightly distracted, turns backwards and takes a chomp out of my chalupa. I was holding it like right here, like about to take a bite, and I just kind of turned to grab the bag, and her little face just comes around backwards. Chomp. So quickly. Like, you little stink. Every now and then she'll do something like that. Like, she'll steal a french fry. Like, she'll get brave and she thinks you're not watching. She'll reach over and just like gently grab a fry. And it's really cute. Yeah, so she did it this time with my chalupa. Like I said, I'd taken all the tomatoes off. I always forget to tell them no tomatoes. So they don't put many, so I just pick them off. I mix this up in a little provided container. I've been remembering to keep up with my container and wash it out. I actually haven't used this to tint my brows yet. This particular new bottles and container. I used this to actually put root touch up in the other day. Okay, that mixed up. Little disposable spoolie. And these I wash and kind of reuse a few times. And let's get in here. I'm going to switch my magnified mirror and probably have to get in there a little close. Let me scooch this so you can actually see what I'm doing. And get right up into these little hairs. I've been meaning to do this for like 3 weeks now. And just keep forgetting. So what I do is I just go backwards through my hair. And just try to pick them all up and get them coated. But yeah, the little stinker, she did that. Tried to steal a bite of my chalupa. Then we went to a coffee shop by the house to, I was out of creamer, so I was like, can we go pick up some coffee? And of course, if we go, we get her a pup cup. They know her there. They yeah. And usually, when my husband rolls the window down to pay and get the cup and everything, she runs to the roll down window and just stands there and, wags her tail and talks to the baristas. Because they're always sweet to her. And they're like, hi, Pumpkin, all that. And this little stink tried to climb into the drive-through window. She's never done that before, but she's like, I'm going in. So I told my husband we'll take her in next time, like through the front entrance so she can see inside and they can pet her. But she was being so rambunctious and so excited. Like, she just chose mischief today. And she ended up knocking the pup cup out of my husband's hand. So he ended up with whipped cream all over him and down onto the floor of the car. So they made her another cup. And she ended up licking the cream off of him too. Ooh, bonus creams. Ooh, I got too dark a shade, methinks. I usually get, I thought this was, ooh, I think I accidentally got the natural black, or like darkest brown or something. I thought that's the shade I usually get, but this is looking kind of black. Oh well. We'll just have some nice dark brows. That's fine with me. I just try to make sure I'm getting every hair covered. And then after I do this, I'll kind of groom them and shape them. But yeah, she's just been a mischievous little dog today. And just happy little ham. So now she's taking a nap. Just like she has these days where she's like, she truly just wakes up and chooses mischief. It is a thing. I'm gonna be rambunctious today. Grab a couple of Q-tips here and kind of clean these edges up. I don't know what just got into her. Because she was so calm through the Taco Bell drive-thru. Just chill as can be. Wasn't even trying to grab like my arms. Like she was just snuggling. Usually, you know, when we pull into like a drive-thru or anything, she just wants to like sit in my lap and look out the window. And she likes to be held while we're driving. But yeah, she was just like, I'm just gonna be snuggy and sweet, and then wow, the girl suddenly. I'm like, well, okay, we are choosing mischief today, aren't we? And this just sits on like 5 minutes. Usually by the time I run my bath water, it's developed. I'm gonna start my bath water now. Wow, I look like a weird, like, goth something. I look like myself in high school with this. I had like the craziest like hair in high school. Like I had that, if you took Karen hair but made it goth, that's what I had in high school. To where I just spiked it up like crazy and teased it, and it was very Susie and the Banshees. I did wild brows, except my brows would not have been this low. They would have gone whoop. I was something else. And sometimes I did them like this though, very straight. Depending on who I wanted to look like that day. Most of the time it was Susie Sue. Which is not like a relevant icon for that age that I was. Most everybody wanted to look like Gerard Way. I was like, nah, I'm going back a little further. Right, so I'm gonna run my bath water. This is probably already developed. It looks like it has. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to stay on a little longer. And then I'm gonna scrub my scalp with my Bumble and Bumble. I'm gonna use this for my deep clean today. My reset wash, whatever you call it. Clarifying wash. Sunday purifying clay wash with kaolin and bentonite and lactic acid. Creamy deep cleansing treatment lifts impurities from hair and scalp. Yeah, it's great. You leave it on like 2 minutes. It's very just slightly tingle. It's a very cooling sensation. And the lather is very satisfying from this. I love the lather because it's a very creamy, rich one. And I feel like it's being a very effective shampoo product. I love it. And I'm gonna, for my mask, I'm gonna use this Moisture Boost protein pack from Palmer's just because I have it open already. This is Tahitian Manoi coconut oil mask here, and it's got a leave-in, which I haven't used yet. But I've got so much of this mask and I've already opened it, so I think I'm gonna use that. And I got this from my stepmom for Christmas, and I forgot to show you. She got me like a little Coors kit of like body wash, and it come with a lotion, 2 of these, and a beautiful little tote bag. And ooh, it's so nice. Talk about a lovely lather. This is the vanilla cinnamon scent. You want to eat it. It's such a good fragrance. Really nice body wash. My husband's been loving it too because he's been using it also. He likes it. But yeah, I gotta steal the scalp scrubber back from him out of the shower. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now, and do a little hair mask situation. And let's see, what products do I want to use when I get out? I like to go ahead and pull my thing. I'm gonna do a little bit of my Living Proof Triple Bond Complex. Love this stuff. This to me is, I like it better than K18. Let's see, we'll do a little Curl Talk mousse from Not Your Mother's. I think we'll do the Kinky Mousse Curl Defining Cream. Harry's Gel. Pretty simple. I'll probably throw a little bit of this thickening spray in at the root as well. And that'll be the styling products. I don't know where any of my freaking microfiber cloths are. I'll just use my t-shirt. This is actually my dad's shirt that he left in the car when we picked him up from the emergency room one time. And it has become my nice favorite like night shirt because it's cozy. And yeah, so I'll just probably use this as my towel today. A soft cotton t-shirt works just fine. All right, I'll see y'all in a minute. Okay, we are all clean. Hair is in the plop. I did use the mentioned products. I'm just gonna set this aside for right now. And I did throw a little bit overtone conditioner in pastel silver through my front bits, and then use the Palmer's through the rest of the hair. This is the way my brows came out, by the way. Pretty dramatic. I didn't realize how thick my brow hairs were. That's because it's been a little while since I tinted them. I was like, dang girl, where all them brow hairs come from? So I'm gonna take a clean spoolie here. I'm gonna brush them. Just, ooh, heck yeah. But I'm not gonna do any skincare right now. I like to wait until I'm done with all my hair product because the gel gets on my face and I have to go wipe my face back off, especially when I go to diffuse and stuff and it's still damp. You know, the hair kind of touches against like my jawline and stuff, and I don't like hair product getting on my face because it can lead to breakouts. Personally, it makes me a little itchy sometimes, so I'm trying to be very careful. I've noticed that the Not Your Mother's stuff does not make me itch. The Harry's doesn't bother me. The Kristen S doesn't seem to bother me. The Living Proof doesn't. I think it's mostly just been the Aussie products that have given me a little bit of trouble in the itch department. Like just where they touch on my face gets itchy. But anyways, I'm going to put a little balm on my tattoo. The little Skin Fix business here. The only thing is I don't like the way this kind of sits on the skin because it is a balm. But just kind of work a little bit in there. Man, nothing like a new tattoo that makes your old tattoos look so shitty. I'm like, oh god, I need to like have them revived because they're so like faded now. Well, the one up here is not too terribly faded, but this one on my forearm definitely is because I got that when I was 20. I got it a few months after my mother. I mean, I got a year after my mom died. I might have been 19. I don't know. I want to say I was 20. I know I got it a little while after my mother died. And I was 20 when mom died. So yeah, I was 20 when I got that. I got that like the following August or something. And my dad took me to get it, which he was always so opposed to tattoos. And used to like get so mad at me when I would draw on my arms like Sharpie and stuff because I would give myself, I just doodle on myself. And he would get so fussy with that. And he would make me go wash my hands and wash my arm off before he would take me anywhere after school. And just... He's a bit of a fuddy-duddy about stuff like that. Like, doesn't like drinking, doesn't like tattoos. Like, I'm like, dude, you have a tattoo. Come on. He has like a little tiny one right here. And anyway, he took me to get it, which was really surprising. Just no questions asked, like, okay. And stayed there while I got it. I think mostly he doesn't like tattoos because he's very squeamish. He doesn't like anything with needles, gross stuff. He's a squeamish person when it comes to in person. Like, he doesn't like piercings. Those gross him out. Like, my mom would have to get him to help her put an earring in, and he was just trying to gag the whole time. It was so funny. But he helped me, like, change out my labret piercing one time when it got stuck. Like, the threading got stuck. He actually helped me do that. And, like, come on. You're not that squeamish. And he watches Dr. Pimple Popper. That's, like, his favorite show. And consider much, like, open heart surgeries and love, like, watching gross shit. But when it's in real life, he's like, It's funny that earrings really bother him. Like, I've noticed that's his biggest, like, trigger is just putting earrings in. Like, he would not mess with them. But anyway, yeah. And then this one I got like 2 years ago with my sister. We got matching ones. But then, like, just the difference in the ink. I know this one will fade a little bit once it heals and stuff. But I do have plans to expand upon this one and kind of zhuzh it up. This is pretty plain. I mean, I was a drew it myself kind of thing and then brought it to the tattoo artist and was like, I want this big as shit on my forearm apparently. It's like, why did I get such a big tattoo? Anyway, I also have plans for like a whole ass sleeve over here of like honeycombs. So anyway, continue the B3. I'm gonna eventually look like a whole ass bee at some point. Right, so now what I need to do is plan out everything I need to do this coming week, write my schedule out, and I want to polish my nails, which I'll wait until maybe, yeah, I think I'll wait till after I dry my hair to do that. But I want to plan out my week, and I got one video that I do want to edit this evening. And yeah, that's about it. So see y'all in a little while.